Hello and welcome to another episode of BzG News.
Hey.
My name is Barrett Courtney, and here, joined with me, is the bisexist from Texas, Henry Montiero.
How you doing?
Henry, I'm doing well, thank you. Usually we have a third member here today with us. We can't just have 1 week where all three of us are together.
No.
2 weeks ago, I was in Disneyland.
There we are.
A week ago, you were having a neurological exam. Now, you might have noticed we were making jokes. We hope you studied for your neurological exam. To explain the joke, he's not actually taking a class about neurological studies. He was being examined by doctors neurologically. And so the joke was, how could he possibly study for that? If you didn't understand. And this week, Ricky is not here, and he's actually tied to our first piece of news today. Some local Bay Area San Francisco news. If you don't know, if you're watching this, you're like, where the fuck are these guys located? You
Texas.
got your answer. You got your answer. San Francisco.
San Francisco, Texas.
No. Bay Area, San Francisco, California.
Damn it.
I'm
didn't
sorry.
study.
It's okay. It's okay. If you don't know, going into the news real quick, if you don't know, BzG News, I don't know if we spelled that out enough for you. It's a news show where we talk about stuff that's currently going on, mainly in pop culture and nerd culture news. But we're going to start with, some local Bay Area news from the San Jose Mercury News. It doesn't say who wrote this, but San Francisco's Riptide Bar burns down. A 2-alarm fire burned a bar and a convenience store in San Francisco's Outer Sunset neighborhood this morning. This was written yesterday, fire officials said. The fire started at the Riptide Bar at 3639 Taraval Street between 46th and 47th Avenues and spread to the Great Highway Market next door. It was reported at 10:15 a.m. and a second alarm was called at 10:27 a.m., fire officials said. The fire was contained at 11:13 a.m., but there was extensive damage to both buildings. According to the fire department, clouds of black smoke could be seen on streets in the area. Now you're wondering, did Ricky cause this fire? No.
From his time wanting to be a fireman?
From his time he wanted to be a fireman.
Just kept peeing on the fire?
So, Ricky's girlfriend, Stove, she is a mother who works at this bar. So Ricky is helping them out today. I don't know with specifically what, if they're trying to clean stuff out of the location before, they just tear it all away or what's going on. But a lot of people have been affected by this, the people who work there and their families, and our hearts and thoughts go out to them. So that's just what I wanted to talk about really quick because it tied into why Ricky wasn't here today. So that is that.
Reminds me of when my house burned down.
Your house burned down? But we're in your house.
No, my old house after I moved out burned down in a meth fire.
Oh.
Yeah.
You were making the meth?
No.
Okay.
Not this time.
Not this time. Conveniently, you were not the one making the meth at the time of the fire.
Yes.
But you had before. You were making the meth prior to the fire.
We have to cook.
Okay.
You know it was going to come down to that.
Yeah. No, I know. I know exactly where it was headed. That was a good show. All right, we're done. See you guys later. Nah, just kidding. We're back. So yeah, usually for BzG News, we talk about the nerd culture news, pop culture news that goes around in our lives. Again, I am your host, Barrett Courtney, and this is the co-host, Henry Montiero. Henry, let's just get right into the news today. The first piece of news is from GameSpot. Our good friend Tamor Hussein writes, Windows 10 can find and disable pirated games. Updated, EULA reveals Microsoft's plans to clamp down on PC piracy. Although Microsoft is yet to provide official clarification on the matter, reports have suggested the EULA cited below pertains to Microsoft services as opposed to the Windows 10 software itself. This means the changes made to the license agreement were intended to protect against illicitly obtained Xbox Live and Windows Store content, not all pirated content on a PC. GameSpot has asked Microsoft for a statement clarifying the policy and will update the story when it has been issued. So I put this in our little thing of links and whatnot before this was updated. So now it sounds like they can only detect when their own sort of software is being pirated and all that good stuff, which, you know, should make sense. Because a lot of, like, other, like, apps and stuff, like, I have, like, an app on here that I don't have it pirated, but I know, like, other people who try to use it in a pirated sense, and it can detect, so you don't have as many services and all that stuff. So this is sort of just like a... At first I thought it was really interesting that, like, anything that you pirate could be detected, which is why I thought it would be a good piece of news, but now that it's been updated, now it doesn't seem like that.
Oh no, my music.
Very interesting, because they made it seem like they could just detect anything. I wonder why. I wonder why they... Maybe they just assumed we thought... Like, maybe they assumed we knew what they meant by the original claim, but who the fuck knows?
I don't.
I certainly don't. So that's that little piece of news right there. We're just going to breeze on through here. So, Fallout Shelter is basically a big advertisement for the upcoming Fallout 4 game.
Yeah.
Little game that's coming out, you know. So, but we're doing advertisements for Fallout Shelter. And some Fallout Shelter advertisements have popped up on Tinder.
Good.
Which is hilarious. Eddie Makuk writes, Bethesda has launched an unusual marketing campaign for its popular mobile game, Fallout Shelter, as the developer is promoting the title from within the dating app Tinder. No, really. People have started to discover a profile page for Vault Boy. Tinder, of course, is a hotbed for fake profiles, but
You've never asked out a carrot on a date?
But this one actually comes from Bethesda. The company is promoting it on Twitter with the tagline, Date a Dweller. Vault Boy's Tinder profile states that he's 25 years old and enjoys new cola, putting out fires, taking coffee breaks, and exploring the blasted wasteland. A code is also featured on his page that reads, If love was radiation, I'd need a box of Radaways. How adorable. This is awesome. I think this is probably like one of the smartest...
My asshole is just swelling.
Your butthole is swelling, so it's coming out, or it's expanding?
I regret saying anything connected to this.
So I'm just gonna go with it.
Fuck.
Is it expanding? What's it doing? What direction?
We just lost all one of our viewers.
Which was you. Going back, I think this is like one of the smartest advertisement ploys that I've seen in a very long time, because it just shows how smart Bethesda can be, where they just think, what's popular right now? Apps. What apps are popular? Tinder. And they just went in and were just like, all right, we know how this works, and we're just going to use it to our advantage here. Very smart way of showing... or for advertising your game.
If only they had this for Oblivion, and then you could date the guard.
And I didn't put this in our actual news list here, but I think there was some porn site where there was leaked footage of Fallout 4 gameplay, and whoever was able to record it thought the last place people would look was a porn site. And I just think all of this Fallout stuff is just very weird.
And hot.
And hot. It's just, it's a prelude to what's to come of Fallout 4. It's going to be hot and spicy.
Like a Subway meatball sub.
I'll swipe right. I'll do it. All right. Okay, some news basically exciting for me, because I'm a nerd. Over at GameSpot, Tamor also writes, Batman Arkham Knight will have Tumblr from Nolan's Dark Knight trilogy. New video also shows off August's Batman 1989 inspired DLC. That DLC was available yesterday. I've yet to download it.
I downloaded it.
You got it? Did you play it at all?
Not yet.
Yeah, I don't think I've downloaded it yet. I've been a little caught up with Limbo, because Limbo is the free game of the month. So I've been like really, really into that because it's my first time ever playing that. So I've been a little distracted. Also getting into school and whatnot. I'm just a real busy guy. I know, but I got to get back into my Batman. So Warner Brothers Interactive Entertainment has teased new Batman DLC for Batman Arkham Knight, revealing the Tumbler is on its way to the game. The video for Arkham Knight's August update shows off the '89 Batman movie pack, but ends by providing a brief glimpse at the car used in Christopher Nolan's Dark Knight trilogy. I don't want to watch the video below, but let's go down here. Warner Brothers has not yet officially announced the Tumbler will be available to play in the game, and as a result, there's no information on whether the vehicle's gadgets will be included or if it can transform into the Batpod. The '89 pack, meanwhile, includes the suit worn by Michael Keaton in the film and the 2 new racetracks inspired by Batman Returns.
Yes.
DLC is available now for $2 only. Now, there was something else. There was other news, I feel like, with... I don't know where that went. Let me see if it's the next piece of news. No, it's not. Is it the next one? I forgot to put it in here. But from another article that I was reading, there's going to be a lot of September DLC.
Good.
There's apparently a Nightwing DLC taking down the Penguin.
Mm-hmm.
And a couple other like racetracks and stuff. My fear is like the rest of our DLC is mainly just going to be racetracks and shit.
I like how there's like in now 4 different times you have to take down the Penguin in this series.
Yeah, yeah.
He cannot catch a break.
I mean, he sort of deserves it.
Yeah, Danny DeVito ass motherfucker.
Yeah, Danny DeVito. Well, it's not a voice. He's voiced by Nolan North, I think, in the city.
Isn't everyone?
In the Arkham games. Yeah, everyone's voiced by Nolan North. Penguin, Deadpool. That guy from Uncharted.
Penpool, Deadquin.
All right. 7 is sneaking under the camera right now.
I really hope that it picked up that knee crack. So, like, just in the middle of this, you hear...
Yeah. So, and moving on, some not highly related news to Batman, but related in the sense that it's also about superheroes. You went to go see Fantastic Four.
Oh, God, yeah, I did.
And you're going to do a review on it later today.
Oh, God, yes, I am.
For next week's quick reviews. And it was pretty awful from my understanding.
I'm saving more words.
Rotten Tomatoes has, I think the last time I checked, a 9% on the movie. And over at GameSpot, Dan Audie writes, Fantastic Four cut a big action sequence. Here's why. A key trailer moment featuring The Thing deleted from movie. One of the biggest criticisms of the recent superhero flop Fantastic Four was the messy structure and confusing ending, which suggested considerable studio interference. The trailer included numerous moments that never made it into the final film, which isn't unusual in itself, as trailers are often put together before films are entirely finished. However, one moment seemed to originate from a major action scene. We see The Thing leaping from a high-tech aeroplane, that's cute, aeroplane into some sort of army base, before being blasted by machine guns. It's a key moment in the trailer and not usually the sort of thing that gets completely cut from movies of this type.
Well, this movie was a mess, so...
Now, Entertainment Weekly has revealed exactly what the scene was and why it never made it into the movie. It was intended to bridge the gap between earlier sequence in which the team gained their powers and the 1 year later time jump that forms the end of the movie. It's a scene in which the Thing, now working for the U.S. government, invades a Chechen rebel base and takes out the enemy mercenaries before U.S. soldiers move in to finish the job. According to EU, director Josh Trank was forced to cut the scene before production even began in order to reduce the budget. However, when Fox executives realized that the film wasn't exactly filled with action, they agreed to finance the sequence, but without Trank's involvement. Unfortunately, the resulting footage, shot by a second unit, looked so different from the rest of the film that it had to remain on the cutting room floor. That's interesting. I wonder how that sequence looks like and how it played out, because it might have been really good. It might have been so different to the point that it was actually good decent. Too decent to be in this shit movie. So, very interesting. 7, it's okay. You do all of this for us. You're allowed to knock us around and, you know. You got the auto temperature going on. All right. We got to look pretty. Because if we don't look pretty and we don't sound good, chances are you won't watch us. Chances are you aren't watching us anyway.
Yeah.
So, yeah, very interesting. Because there's no one person to blame here. And the thing with, like, the whole Josh Trank Twitter thing where he's like, it's all the studio's fault. I don't think there's one person to really blame here.
Miles Teller,
I guess. He's a phenomenal actor, though, to be honest. All of them are really great actors that just happen to sign on expecting to be in a really good superhero movie and it just being total and utter trash. Really sad.
I'm going to save my words.
You're going to save your words because you got to review it later today, so I don't want to make you talk about it that much. But it's just... Yeah, there's no one person to blame here because it seems like, from what I understand, that this is like the only major thing that they cut from the movie. And Josh Trank in his tweet was talking about, I had this like a great cut from last year that you won't see because the studio is made of a bunch of assholes. If this is the one thing that was cut...
And it's a thing he didn't even direct.
And it's something he didn't even really direct. Could have really made the movie that better. I don't think so. Alright. So, moving away from shitty superhero stuff and all that stuff. D23 was this last weekend. We got a lot of cool announcements. The major stuff that came by was a bunch of posters that we got to see pictures of. Over at IGN, Scott Kalura writes, D23 2015 Pixar sequel, posters for Incredibles 2, Toy Story 4, and more. Just in case you needed confirmation that Incredibles 2 really is happening, Disney unveiled a series of logo posters today at the D23 Expo showing off several upcoming Pixar sequels, including the return of The Incredible Brood. Aside from The Incredibles 2, there are also one sheets for Toy Story 4, Cars 3, and Finding Dory. Check them all out below. So, I don't have the screen share technology to show you today, but if you want to look it up, you can look it up. Cars poster, it's all the Cars posters, basically, but with the 3.
Yeah.
I don't know why we're getting a third one.
It's because it makes money.
It makes a lot of money. Which
From merchandise.
From merchandise, but also the films themselves, you know, like, kids love Cars, and you can't blame them, you know, shiny, actiony, it has a fast pace to
Larry
it.
the Cable Guy.
Everything a child loves. All put
Get her done.
all put into one movie. So, I guess it's a generational thing, because when Cars came out, when the first Cars came out, that's when I started not really caring about Pixar movies really anymore, at least new ones. Because after Cars, Seven got it this time. He was able to get under the camera. After Cars, what was it? It was like Cars, WALL-E.
It goes Cars,
Ratatouille, and then WALL-E.
And then Up. Toy Story 3. And then Cars 2. Brave. Monsters University. And now Inside Out.
Jesus. It's 9 movies since that. Or 8 movies, I should say. Didn't really care about Cars. Ratatouille was good.
WALL-E and Up were great.
WALL-E was okay for me. Again, it just doesn't speak to me for some reason. I didn't think it was boring, but it was just... Like, I get what the movie was about, and I wasn't like, this is just... Why don't they just talk the whole time or something? Because half the film is, like, just him and Eve for a good portion. And I did appreciate that. There were really great moments, and I don't think I've seen it since I saw it in the theaters. What was after? Up is really good. Up was fantastic, actually.
Toy Story 3, perfect.
Toy Story 3, perfect.
Cars 2 didn't happen.
Cars 2, again, it was just them cashing in. It was sort of Disney buying Pixar and saying, we need to make sequels for all of these things that make money. And then...
Brave happened.
Brave happened. It was okay. Inside Out, I like. You really enjoy that movie. It's your favorite movie of all time. as of right now.
Monsters University also.
Monsters University, I think, was definitely a fan service. Because a lot of people like didn't really understand or like really care about that movie, but I remember seeing it with Ricky and Jack, and we were laughing throughout that whole movie just because of how big of a fan service it was. But anyway, moving on from Cars 3 poster, we got the Finding Dory, basic Finding Nemo poster, but this time it just says Dory instead of Nemo. Very interesting. I think the basis of this plot is that it's going to be about finding Dory's family and finding out who Dory was in the past before Finding Nemo.
And Dory's gal pal, voiced by Portia de Rossi.
And then we got Toy Story 4, and then basic Toy Story poster, no characters, but with the 4. And then the most exciting thing, that Incredibles 2 poster, but the eye, like the base of the eye in Incredibles is split into 2, making it the 2, which is awesome. I really like that design. Very simple.
Didn't they already confirm Incredibles 2? I feel like they did.
They confirmed it 2 years ago, and we have not heard anything since. So, and this is the thing that annoys me. All of these movies, so I'm going to go, okay, except Cars 3. Cars 3 says coming soon. Finding Dory, summer 2016.
Finding Dory?
Finding Dory, our old gym teacher, 2016. Summer 2016. Toy Story 4, summer 2017. Incredibles coming soon. You announced this 2 years ago, and it's still coming soon. It's like kind of Kingdom Hearts 3, where they confirmed this like 4 years ago, and then they finally released a trailer this year, and it said now in development. What was it in before?
They were thinking about it.
They were thinking about it, but now it's in development. What the fuck is going on with this Incredibles movie? Because this is the sequel I have wanted ever since this movie has come out. I don't really care, but like Finding Dory is like okay, and like Toy Story was inevitable in getting a bunch of sequels. Monsters University again, like we didn't really need it, but Incredibles, we needed a fucking sequel, and we're way past the due point of that.
Yeah,
and we still have no word of when the fuck it's gonna come out.
Yeah.
Bullshit. It's bull. Shit. Moving on. Specifically, more Pixar news over at GameSpot. Danny Audi writes, Toy Story 4 to be love story about Woody and Bo Peep, the next part of Pixar's animated series due in 2017. Details have emerged about Pixar's plans for the fourth Toy Story movie. At Studio's D23 Expo, Chief Creative Officer John Lasseter explained that the next part of the studio's animated franchise would be a love story. And I remember earlier this year they had said that Toy Story will be sort of a romantic comedy in the next movie. And I was really, really scared. Because we have gotten enough romantic comedies in like that basic plot. And I know Pixar is going to do a little better than that, but I was like, who are they going to do it about? Rex and like that other dinosaur, like I could give less of a fuck about. Buzz and Jessie, yeah, but like we sort of got that closure at the end of Toy Story 3. You know?
Bullseye and the dog.
But I like that it's sort of about finding Bo Peep and seeing where she ended up. Toy Story 3 seemed to conclude the series so neatly that many were surprised when a fourth entry was announced late last year. But Lasseter, who directed the first two parts, was quick to defend the decision to continue. At Pixar and at Disney, we only do a sequel if we have come up with something that's as good or better than the original.
Like Cars 2.
Am I right?
Am I right? Am I right? Am I right?
We don't do things just to print money. It's about great stories. Again, Cars 2.
Bambi 2.
Bambi 2, which wasn't Pixar. But
I just wanted to mention Bambi 2.
He's speaking for Pixar, but it's Disney owns Pixar now. So you're going to do whatever Disney tells you what the fuck to do. So he can say that, but I'll believe it when I see it that this story will be any good. Lasseter confirmed that the Pixar would focus upon the relationship between Cowboy Woody and Bo Peep, who was sold in a garage sale after Toy Story 2 and appeared only in a flashback in the last film. As we were looking around, we came up with this idea because Bo Peep was not in Toy Story 3 and actually works beautifully into this. So Woody and Buzz Lightyear go out to find Bo Peep and bring her back, and it's a very special and emotional love story.
And they finally answer the most important questions. Do these toys bone? Do these toys bone?
God.
Do these toys bone?
That would be a very, very weird turn for the series. The original
Bo Peep.
Jesus. The original Toy Story was released in 1995. 20 years ago. And was both Pixar's debut feature, the very first full-length, entirely computer-animated film. I did not know that it was entirely
What about the Money for Nothing video?
It went on to make $360 million at the global box office, while the two sequels, released in 1999 and 2010, were similar-sized successes. So we got a little plot summary of what's going to go on there. I hope there's going to be a lot of laughs, because I really enjoy those series. And I hope there's some sort of heist element to it, because that's what Toy Story really is. Like, they're all, in different ways, just heist films.
Yeah.
You gotta have that element. And Toy Story 3 was by far the best heist setup. Moving on, we only got four more pieces of news here with us today. More Pixar news, again, a lot of stuff coming out of D23.
Wait, I just thought of the best thing. Toy Story 4 reveals that the last scene in Toy Story 3 was actually in Woody's mind, and they're getting burned in the incinerator, and that's the whole movie. Just them getting burned alive.
Jesus. Yeah, what a fucking movie, man. That was so...
Oh, good. They announced Book of Life.
Book of Life was a movie about the Day of the Dead.
Yeah.
Was
I
that
watched
Disney?
it.
Or was that DreamWorks?
I think
Let's look this up.
It was by Guillermo del Toro, which is what matters.
Guillermo del Toro?
Guillermo del Toro.
He did that?
He produced it.
The book? Well, that doesn't mean anything.
I know, but anything with...
The Book of Life.
I keep wanting to say Benicio del Toro.
Benicio del Toro. This was...
Real FX Creative Studios.
No, that's not right.
Yeah, it is.
What? That's weird.
I watched this.
20th Century Fox.
Distributed.
That's what I was looking for.
I watched it. It's okay.
It's okay. So D23 2015, Pixar's upcoming Day of the Dead movie, has been outlined. It was revealed today, Seth G. Macy writes at IGN, at the D23 Expo that Pixar's upcoming movie based on the Mexican Day of the Dead holiday, first announced back in 2012, has an official title. My nickname from high school, Coco. That is actually my nickname. You can confirm with him and other people I've gone to high school with.
Just ask Ricky. Yeah. Just ask him anything.
Just ask him. Really. Just be like, hey, was Barrett named Coco in high school? And he.
Oh shit, yeah.
Oh shit, yeah. Coco from Toy Story 3 director Lee Unkrich is inspired by Real Dia de los Muertos. I totally butchered that.
Dia de los Muertos.
Muertos, there you go. Traditions of honoring departed loved ones by putting out photos and things they loved in life. The main character, Miguel, is a 12-year-old boy living in rural Mexico. The director said he was intrigued by the idea of a big family reunion between living and the dead. In the test footage shown during the event, a long single take down a street shows cheerful skeletons dancing and playing music. The skeletons are trading top halves, the top of one skeleton leaping onto the lower portion of another, juggling skulls and generally being enthusiastic and joyful about the afterlife. A mariachi band is playing. Oh, thank God we got a mariachi band, because we don't have enough of those in the Day of the Dead movies. Is playing gleefully when one of the skeleton's faces fall off to reveal Miguel wearing a mask. The skeletons gasp. One's jaw literally falls off and stare at Miguel, who shrugs. The music and revelry begins anew.
Finally, a good Hotel Transylvania sequel.
And this is coming out fall 2017. Now, this is interesting because I didn't notice this, because usually there's only one Pixar film a year. But now we're starting to get two. Sort of doing this Marvel thing right here, where there's two Marvel movies a year.
Joy, I'm here to talk to you about the Avengers Initiative.
We got Inside Out, and then later this year we're getting The Good Dinosaur, and then next year we're getting Finding Dory. Finding Dory might be the only one next year.
Surprise release Incredibles 2.
God, that would, if only. Interesting. Pixar was founded on my birthday.
Huh.
Not the year, but the day. I'm not going to tell it to you right here. But let's go through it here. In production, so Finding Dory will be the only Pixar film for next year. But Toy Story 4 and Coco are going to be coming out in 2017.
I like how they don't have one that's announced, but they have a release date for it.
They have a TBA film coming out in June 15,
They're going to cure TBA, just like the Bluth stride.
All right. I think that's all of our Pixar news. Now let's get in the good stuff of D23, which was all of the awesome Star Wars news that we got. We got this. Yes.
Wars.
Inside joke, just so you know. So, over at GameSpot, Eddie writes, new Star Wars Episode 7 poster revealed. And I don't think this is going to be the main poster. I think this was just something, like, fans sort of got. Because if you haven't seen this, go look it up. I can't share it with you right now. But we've got this, it's got this old style of the old original.
I'm trying to remember who's in. Drew Struzan does that's his art. I can tell.
So his art. He also did. I remember being a big Angels and Airwaves fan in middle school, and the artwork for I Empire was actually done by him, and you can tell as well that that's him. I couldn't remember his name though. So in the background we've got Kylo Ren with his handled lightsaber or whatever the fuck.
Wait, they're all handled.
With his sort of long sword, whatever the fuck is going on with that.
That thing.
And then we've got Daisy Ridley in the forefront right here. She doesn't have a lightsaber, but she's got this fucking. Is it a blaster? What?
It's her poking stick. Poke.
It's her poking stick to poke dead bodies. And then we've got in the background. We've got John Boyega awkwardly holding a lightsaber, like he has no idea what the fuck's going on.
To be fair, if you holded a beam of light, how would you hold it? And then you just have Harrison Ford at the bottom,
and
looking
then you
tiny.
Awkwardly have Harrison Ford sort of at the bottom. He's the only part of this. If we just had this portion, this would be a great poster. But then Harrison Ford is just sort of here, he's the only one who looks out of place in this poster.
To me, the reason it doesn't really look like a Star Wars poster is because Star Wars posters usually have like the same general format to them, main head here, bad guy over here,
and that's
spaceship here.
And that's why I don't think this is an official poster, the poster that we're gonna get. I think this was just maybe a little tease.
Yeah.
Maybe it's just a portion of the poster, cause we sort of got the X-Wings and TIE Fighters coming in, being cut off a little bit. Maybe this is a portion of the main poster, as we see here. And there's something being cut off at the edge here.
Every corner just has Harrison Ford in it.
And so, yeah, I don't feel like this is going to be our main poster. I feel like the main poster is going to be fucking awesome, though. So, yeah, there's that. We got that. On to the next piece of news. Just a quick check. All right. Same game spot. We're going to go actually to IGN because I accidentally skipped this. So IGN put a whole everything we learned about Star Wars at D23, which you can go look over at that by a bunch of different IGN staff. So we got the poster. Got a bunch of interviews with John Boyega, Daisy Ridley, Oscar Isaac, Lupita Nyong'o, all that good stuff. But let's move down. We got a good picture of Captain Phasma and her armor, which looks awesome.
Yeah, I'd wear it.
I'd ship it. Johnny Depp is in a picture for some reason. And so Star Wars Episode 7, which is coming out this year, is being directed by J.J. Abrams. Episode 8 is going to be directed by Rian Johnson, who is the director of Looper, and who also directed some of the best Breaking Bad episodes.
Looper was a good movie I forgot about.
Yeah, so he's directing 8. And now Lucasfilm has officially announced that Jurassic World's Colin Trevorrow will be directing Star Wars Episode 9. And Looper's Rian Johnson is scripting Episode 8, but isn't he also directing So Ryan Johnson is writing and directing episode 8, and there are rumors that Abrams might come back to help script it. Maybe Ryan Johnson will come back to help script 9, but that's really all we've gotten right now. Is Colin Trevorrow. You saw Jurassic World.
Yeah, I did.
You enjoyed it?
I enjoyed it.
Dinosaurs.
Yeah. I know some people who hate it, but I liked it. I thought it was okay.
The trailer was awful, and that's what put me off from seeing it.
The thing with it is that it's very clearly like it's a summer movie that you're gonna watch once.
Yeah.
And then you're gonna remember one scene from it.
Yeah, you're gonna like think back on it 10 years later, and you're like, oh hey, that was something. That was something in our time. The caliber of directors here sort of almost reflects the original trilogy here. Got J.J. Abrams, who is very innovative and will totally push this new trilogy in a good direction. And I think Ryan Johnson's gonna come in and totally switch it up, but still make it better and just really fucking off the wall. Because that's what I've expected from Ryan Johnson at this point. Like Looper, with the exception of Bruce Willis's toe, was a phenomenal film. Seriously, there's a scene where like you see his fucking feet for no good reason.
Quentin
like
Tarantino
several times.
took over for that scene. That's what happened.
So that was a really great film, and I think that really put an interesting aspect on time travel, and I think he can definitely put an interesting aspect on Star Wars. And then I feel like Colin Trevorrow here is not at the Excalibur of the first two, but he might be able to wrap things up nicely, you know? That's my take on that. How do you feel?
I like Star Wars.
Yeah. So does 7. So Rogue One is going to be the first in one of the Star Wars anthology films. And we got the official cast listing here and an official picture of all of them in uniform set up to steal the Death Star plans. We've got
Nicolas Cage.
The actual lineup here for the people who are going to be in it is Mads Mikkelsen. He's Hannibal in the Hannibal's TV series. He was also in Casino Royale. You got Diego Luna. He's in Milk and Killing Them Softly. We've got Ben Mendelsohn.
That's not a name.
From Bloodline and Mississippi Grind. We've got Donnie Yen from Ip Man and Blade 2. Ip Man is fucking awesome. So I hope to see some really good fighting scenes in this. Jiang Wen from Let the Bullets Fly and Devils on the Doorstep. We've got Forrest Whitaker, The Butler, The Last King of Scotland. Alan Tudyk, Conman, Firefly. Riz Ahmed from Nightcrawler and Four Lions. All led by Felicity Jones, who is front and center here. And there's an interesting video that I saw from a former IGN employee, Roth Cornett, who is a big voice for, having bigger woman roles and all of these nerdy things. And she was in an interesting video with someone else. I forget what website it was for. I think it was like Hitflix or something. And they were talking about how they're upset about Star Wars, and mainly this picture of why aren't there more female roles in this core cast. Now, while I understand that having women characters here should be important, and we obviously have one. We have one like front and center who's going to be the main character, and I think that's good representation for that. I do understand a little bit of maybe why not have one or two more characters that are female. But the way they went about it and how they were talking about it just seemed very ignorant and very not. Their argument wasn't put together very well, and it just made them seem like they're bitching and moaning about something that they were already getting. But it was interesting nonetheless of the topic. But Colin Moriarty from Kind of Funny put up a good sort of argument back from that. Is He's thought, and it made me think as well, Star Wars has always been sort of progressive in the way of casting and having main characters. Lando Calrissian is like one of the first like
Billy D. Williams
center like African American roles where his core character isn't about being black, you know? He's just a black guy, and this is what he does, and
the coolest motherfucker
and
in that movie.
He's the coolest motherfucker in the galaxy, you know, besides Han Solo.
It's me, Billy D. Williams.
And, you know, Princess Leia, all throughout those 3 original films, is very empowering, and she's, like, kick-ass throughout that whole series. A lot of people like to make the argument, oh, hey, they try to sexualize her in the 3rd one. Here's the thing here. Who was she sexualized by? Scum. And really shady people, and, like, a pervert. That's, like, just showing...
Jabba the Hutt.
Yeah, Jabba the Hutt. Like, he would seem like one of those guys who would just try to sexualize women no matter what.
And he gets choked.
But she chokes the fuck out of him with her own hands later on in that movie.
Well,
like,
not with her own hands, but with the whip.
Well, with the chain. She does it with the chain, but she did it by herself. She did that shit. In a bikini, still empowering, still fucking people up. Now, and I've always, like, and Colin said he's always thought that was really progressive, and I sort of agree with him. And I don't really understand, and I just want to get your thoughts on this. Like, I don't really understand what is to complain about here, because Felicity Jones, she's a woman and she looks badass, and she looks like she could be really empowering. Like, what are your thoughts?
People like to complain about things.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. And to the point of where, like, yeah, they could write in a woman, but they could change it, but the role could possibly be played by either a man or a woman. And if they just changed it to be a woman just to have a woman, isn't that something you also complain about as well, though? Like, I'm just talking in general. I'm not talking specifically you, but generality of people who like to complain about these kind of things. I don't know. There's very interesting backlash of that. The only backlash I've really seen of Rogue One. And now we get into the most important news of the day.
Star Wars.
Star Wars lands at both Disney World and Disneyland. Very exciting. Disney boss Robert Iger made Star Wars fans and theme park lovers' dreams come true Saturday when he officially announced the Star Wars Land theme parks will be coming to Disneyland and Disney World. At over 14 acres each, it's Disney's largest single-themed land expansion ever. Disney's aim is in transporting guests to a never-before-seen planet, a remote trading port, and one of the last stops before wild space where Star Wars characters and their stories come to life. Every store and restaurant will be run by characters and locals, and Disney has already began casting people to work there and play them. The park will have 2 major attractions, one of which has you riding the Millennium Falcon on a customized secret mission.
Good.
While Disney indicated it will take some time, understandably, to complete Star Wars Land, there are some other Star Wars additions and changes coming to Disney theme parks that were revealed at D23. The other changes that we've seen, alongside with the movie this December, Space Mountain will be named Hyperspace Mountain for a good month or two, and all the music and lighting will be Star Wars themed.
Good.
So, I haven't talked to the Shimoda yet, but I would like to go to back to Disneyland, maybe for that.
I'm going around Halloween.
That's cool.
I want to go on the Space Mountain Nightmare trip.
That's a good one. I haven't done it yet.
I'm going to make sure to get there early.
Yeah, that's a long line. Long
pass time.
Yeah. The only way we were able to get to Space Mountain a couple of weeks ago, we just sort of waited out. Because by the time we got... The day we decided to do Space Mountain, we were doing both parks. We started we started at Disneyland and we did Space Mountain once. I think that's like one of the first things we did, and then like we got there like right at the opening, and then we went over to. No.
Space Mountain fills,
I forget,
man.
but the Fast Pass runs out fast. Like it was done by like 1.
Yeah.
Or noon or something. It was around there. Like when we went back to check it out, like we sort of wanted to do it again, and we went back over there, and it was done already. So, yeah, good luck with that. And then also, another change coming this December is that let me actually click on this article because I want to make sure that I'm right in citing this of when it's going to be actually happening. Star Tours, the motion simulator, already in several Disney parks, will be expanded with a new update at Disneyland in Anaheim and Disney's Hollywood Studios in Orlando this year. One that will include both a new destination and characters taken from the upcoming Star Wars: The Force Awakens
You know,
movie.
it was a weird experience.
What?
So when I went over to Paris, over the
Disneyland Paris over the summer. Yeah.
I went on the Star Tours ride.
Yeah.
And it's still the original Star Tours ride.
It's still the original. Wow.
So it was really weird.
It was the OG. That's awesome.
'Cause
I
it was
really like that one.
Because it was like, I'm going on Star Tours, but it's the original and everyone's talking in French.
Yeah, because the original bot wasn't C-3PO or R2-D2.
No, it was just...
It was like this random like little guy. He's like, this is your first time on Star Tours. Well, it's my first time too. And you're like, oh man, that's going to be bad. And then it turns into a disaster. And
every time I ride, it's just like, no, it goddamn isn't. I've been on this ride like 10 times.
Yeah. The original ride, I wish they had kept like... they did keep elements of the original ride. Like in the videos in the line, when you're waiting in line, you'll see like that original bot like walking around and all that stuff.
It would have been great if it was like... Actually, the funny thing is, the first time I rode that, I went to my dad and was like, so are we going to go to Endor at some point, or...
And something that Shimoda pointed out is that since they're adding The Force Awakens, he's like, but the timeline's going to be all fucked up. The timeline's already fucked up with the new Star Tours, because like one minute you'll be fighting Darth Vader, and then the next minute you'll... like,
Naboo Starfighter.
Yeah, you'll be like on Naboo doing starfighting stuff, and none of it makes sense, but it's still really fun. I want to try to get my dad over to...
It's really just a movie.
He doesn't...
Just relax.
My dad isn't really a theme park guy. He likes going to like roller coaster places. Like Cedar Point is a big place in Ohio. Has the tallest roller coaster of all time.
So an amusement park.
Yeah, he likes amusement parks. He's not a huge theme park kind of guy. But I think Star Wars Land might be some incentive for him to come out over here and go with us to Disneyland at one point. I will be planning on doing this when it opens.
Okay.
And I do sort of want to go this Christmas break.
Darth Vader themed PS4. I see.
So yeah, our next piece of news moving on is Darth Vader themed PS4. Disney announced 2 bundles. Both of them is the Darth Vader on the PS4. One comes with Disney Infinity 3.0, which includes all the Star Wars stuff, and then the other comes with Star Wars Battlefront. Both limited edition bundles come with 4 classic Star Wars games for free: Super Star Wars, which is the NES Star Wars game; Racer's Revenge, which is the sequel to Pod Racing; Bounty Hunter, which I've never played before. I think my dad's played that before; and Jedi Starfighter. The four titles will have full trophy support. The bundles will be available on November 17th.
I'm aroused.
And the cool thing about this is, like, I've been a little concerned because Xbox has definitely had the upper hand of titles coming out this fall. I think this might help PlayStation a little more of being able to sell consoles and then being able to have people play Star Wars Battlefront on this console, just because of that incentive and seeing like those old classics. I might get this, and I've had the OG PS4. I got it like around the time it first came out. So recently it's been overheating, and I might turn in my PS4 to get this, and you get this awesome controller right here, all black with red analog buttons, gray analog or red the red directional buttons, and you get a red bumper, a blue bumper, gray analog sticks, and that like really bright red circle.
You get this. Button. You get this, but you accidentally get the Disney Infinity copy.
God damn, I would be so upset. Let's see. The bundles will be available on November 17th, so the day Battlefront comes out. And I don't know if they have a price range yet.
Probably a lot.
My guess is let's actually do some research here.
Remember when the PS3 was $600?
I do remember that, and that's why not GameStop.
GameStop. It's where you go to see pictures of old ladies' legs.
Ew.
Welcome to GameStop.
I do remember when the PS3 was $600, and that's why the PS3 failed for a good portion of time. Let's go PlayStation 4.
Star Wars
bundle. Let's see if it's up on GameStop yet. I want console. I want PlayStation 4, and I want console specifically. Can I select that? All right, let's go under.
We'll find out later.
No, I'm still gonna research this. Still gonna do it.
That was Kiss from a Rose from Seal by Seal from Prime Music.
Alexa has gone rogue.
I can't find the answer to the question I heard.
Okay.
Alexa, stop.
We have a sentient being in this room, provided by Seven, who does a lot of cool stuff. I can't find any pricing for it yet. My guess is going to be $400. I think right now, let me actually do some more research here. GameSpot. No, I can't write GameSpot correctly for some reason. Let's go to. Is anybody talking? No.
When are we going to GameSpot?
Or are we going to GameSpot? I believe. No. Shit. GameStop. There we go. I believe right now I can turn in my basic PS4 with 500 gigabytes in for.
I hear a light hum.
Let's find values for consoles. Here we go. What can I turn this in for? $175.
Trade credit.
So that's almost half of what the PS4 is worth. If the Star Wars bundle is that price, if it's $400, that's my guess, I will get it. I'm gonna save up the rest of it, the other $200, and get that fucking bundle. It'll be great because I was able to update my PS4, so I put in the 1 terabyte or 2 terabytes.
Looks like someone's getting Battlefront release day.
2 terabytes. I'm not gonna get it. The whole thing I've said before that Battlefront I don't want to get on the release day. I'm not getting it for Battlefront though. I'm getting it for that fucking PS4 and that controller mainly. Like that controller is fucking awesome.
I'm getting it for Disney Infinity.
But I've saved my 500 gigabyte hard drive so I can just put that back into my old PS4, take the 1 terabyte out, and then put the 2 terabyte, whatever the fuck I have, into that new PS4. And hopefully that PS4 won't be as prone to overheating as much. That's my main concern with my PS4.
How can it not get heated when it's around you all the time?
Our last piece of news for today comes from GameSpot. Hip-hop biopic Straight Outta Compton sets box office records. The story of NWA blazes to the top of the charts, which is awesome. You saw this movie, right?
Yeah.
You really enjoyed it.
It's good. It's so good, man.
I still want to see it. I might see it this Friday. It doesn't say a list here. I would like a list. But Straight Outta Compton opened up with $56.1 million this weekend, topping the box office charts and making the highest opening biopic of all time. The film, this is interesting. The film was particularly popular amongst minority audiences. Wow.
Then they're not the minority.
I wonder why. With CNN reporting that nearly 46% of audience were African American and only 23% white. That's because most white people really don't care about NWA.
But we do.
And I want to see this movie. I would have seen it opening weekend, but I was really busy. I had like 3 days in a row where I was doing full day shifts at
It's seriously like so good.
Yeah, I'm excited. I want to go see it during the day so I don't have to deal with the crowd. Interesting. Straight Outta Compton was directed by Gary Gray on a budget of just $29 million.
I read that as F. Gary, man.
And stars O'Shea Jackson Jr., the son of NWA member Ice Cube, here playing his father, Jason Mitchell, Corey Hawkins, and Paul Giamatti. Who the fuck does Paul Giamatti play?
Their manager. He plays MC Ren. No, he plays their manager.
Interesting. I did not know he was in this movie. Is he still really fat? Yeah? Man, that's weird.
Paul Giamatti stays the same. Like when he's the Rhino.
I don't know what was at number 2 or number 3 or whatever, but it's good that Straight Outta Compton is getting the recognition it deserves, getting really good ratings as well. So that was all the news we had for today. And usually if we had a chat going on here, the only chat person was Henry that said this show sucks. We would try to answer questions, any questions, comments, or concerns that you would have for us. But since we don't really have a chat going on today, I'm just going to leave it here, you know. Thank you for watching. If you're watching this live on Twitch and you just don't want to talk to us, thank you for being here. If you're watching this later on YouTube, just so you know, BzG News, you don't have to watch it live. You can watch it the Saturday after Wednesday on youtube.com/BzOnaGamers, where we have a bunch of different stuff going on. Our quick review show, our talking shit show, our...
it is a talking shit show.
Our Let's Plays, all that good stuff. And if you're watching this on YouTube, you should check out twitch.tv/BzOnaGamers, where you can talk to us live while we do this and all that good stuff. Again, my name is Barrett Courtney. This is Henry Montier, and usually we have our good friend Ricky Baldazan, but he is helping his friends with the tragic fire that happened at a local bar. So thank you for joining us here today. Henry, do you have any closing thoughts on today's news?
No.
No? You're all good?
Yeah, I'm good.
All right. Okay, see you later, Henry. Thank you for joining. Again, my name is Barrett Courtney. You can catch me on Twitter at BananaLechong. You can catch Henry at
my shadow kind of ruins the effect of me leaving.
You can catch Henry at Henrysaurus and BzOnaGamers in general at BzOnaGamers if you have any questions, comments, concerns, or suggestions for our show. And if you have any questions of how we sound and look so good, you can also tweet at our tech guy at 7Morris. But the O in Morris is a 0. So SEVENM0RRIS.
What's that smell?
It's the smell of bacon in the morning and napalm. So thank you for joining us here. And until next Wednesday, have a great day full of nerdy and pop culture news. Thank you.